Good afternoon, guys, and happy Wednesday to all of your sunshiny faces. So guys, got to a couple things today, a couple more things than I would have liked to have gotten to than I had to, but I don't know, this week has just been like, I feel like, I don't know, like I haven't gotten back on track really. I haven't been getting things done. Like I have, but I don't know why. I just don't really feel accomplished, like, and I don't know, it's sort of like everything is like sort of all over the place. Like for example, today, this was something I did not plan on spending my day doing, but my computer, for some reason, my PC, was having a really stubborn problem, and it didn't want to, for some reason, uninstall certain programs from my computer. And what I realized was they were all certain programs that were over a certain time frame that I ended up installing them onto the computer. So anything that was installed recently, like within the last few years, was okay, but anything that was like older than that, my PC I got in 2014, so it is, what's that, 5-6 years old now, or no, 7 years old. And so it's you know, pretty actually old, and it runs still awesome. Like I can definitely tell my Mac is so slow. It's starting to really get slow. But the thing is that my Mac, when I bought it brand new. However, it was a 2012 model. So I think the processors were all older. I believe my PC, when I bought it, was like a 2014 model, you know, or whatever. So it was actually like, you know, the processors I think are not faster than my Mac, but I think that just like newer components and such, maybe it just feels like it runs a lot faster, honestly, than my Mac does. And like I've just noticed my Mac getting slower. I don't know which one I would say actually runs faster, because I always feel like Mac does, just because it's built sort of for that. I do a lot of sort of hardcore like editing, you know, like all that kind of stuff. Like the processing is, I think, a lot. I use it a lot more for those type of things on my Mac than I do on my PC anyway. Like I play games on my PC, that's sort of really it. And like I will do like blog post updates and stuff like that. Anything that is more like, I guess, creative based sort of is more I do on my Mac, just because like I said, it's sort of more built for that, I think, than PC. And so like I was saying, it's older. So some of the stuff that I have on there is stuff that I downloaded like when I first got it and just never took off of there. So I was going through some things and I could not figure out for the life of me what this problem is. Apparently it's a semi-normal weird problem that it seems like a lot of other people were having, where they couldn't uninstall certain programs, like not just certain ones, it seemed like a lot, and it all had to do with like the like I'm the only person that uses my PC. It's a home PC. I'm the only person that uses it, yet it was saying that I couldn't uninstall things because I didn't have administrative like permission to uninstall these things, which is really dumb. And like I said, all these other people are saying the exact same thing too, like this is a home PC, I'm the only person that uses it, whatever. And so it was a really dumb, it's this really dumb problem. I literally ended up finally letting it go after what felt like hours of trying to figure it out. Finally, I was like looking up on my phone, I was like, I'm gonna give it one last chance. Actually, it was completely at the end of the day almost. We were actually watching the What If, like the Marvel's What If, and I was like, we had to pause it because the dogs needed to go outside. So I was like, I'm gonna look this up, because I got really frustrated. And I came across like one article and had a whole bunch of like, you know, troubleshooting sort of stuff. And I had read through most of this article already, and I tried a couple of the things, and then, you know, and it said like downloading third-party, you know, sort of like help, I guess, to like get you to help you, you know, do this stuff. Finally, at the end of the article was the one that finally ended up working for me, and I was what looks like unable to uninstall it. By the time that the end of the day had rolled around, though, I actually no longer needed to uninstall this said thing that I was going to, because I actually fixed it myself in its own problem, because I was having a different problem. So like, I'm just gonna uninstall it, reinstall it. Yeah, I fixed that before I fixed the other problem. And it's not even really a fix, it's just sort of like again, like a weird, like, this glitch comes up sort of thing, whatever it is. And there's just, like I said, it was sort of an easier way, I guess, to fix it, which doesn't actually fix the legitimate problem. It just sort of goes around the problem, because it's not actually the problem, is not what's like preventing it, I guess, sort of, at least from my slight understanding of it. But turning something off winds up fixing it. So, but then I turned it back on because I don't want to leave it off. But anyways, long story short, I fixed both the problems. One completely on my own. I fixed it without needing to uninstall the thing. But then I figured out what was wrong, because I was like, so I'm just never supposed to, like, do I have to reset my entire PC to get this problem to be fixed? And will it even be fixed? I was like, you know, like, that's like my whole thing, like hard reboot sort of thing. And I was like, I do not want to have to do that. I was like, I've got tons of stuff on here that I don't want to have to get erased and then reinstall and all this kind of stuff. So I was like, if I have to live with this, which just seems ridiculous because there's stuff on there that I'm sure I don't want anymore. And it's not like files, it's just to uninstall programs. And so, like I said, and it doesn't seem like it's apps, it was more programs. And so I was like, this just seems insanely dumb. And like I said, it was a bunch of other people were having these type of problems, it seemed like. And again, I finally ended up coming up with what seems like the solution, because I never actually ended up completely uninstalling it, but it allowed me to get to the point where I could, if that at all makes sense. So I think that I'm good. It was letting me do stuff that I couldn't do beforehand. It never gave me the pop-up that said I couldn't do it, but I never fully uninstalled the program. So like I said, I think I ended up fixing that, but it took me a long time today, like at least a good hour, 2 hours or something like that, before I finally gave up and fixed the other problem myself. So in addition to the other problem that I was having that I fixed by myself, it's probably several hours that I spent doing this. So I got that all fixed I think. And then I ended up doing dishes today too. I did that this morning. I made pizza for dinner tonight because we have like no room in our freezer. So I was like, hey, let's use up some of these frozen pizzas. I did sort of make my grocery list. I have to add it to the list that I normally send in an email. So long story short, I also got that done. We've had a lot of family stuff going on so far this week too. And then this weekend, we got Jack's, well, tomorrow me and my dad will probably be going to the grocery store after Jack's football game. Then Friday we have Jack's football game, which is away. And I think my aunt might be coming with us then. And then on Saturday, we might be getting together with my aunt also. And then on Sunday, I think that we are going over to my other aunt and uncle's house from one of my cousin's birthdays. So all in all, we have a pretty packed week, a weekend. But like, I don't know why. Like, after I finally fixed the problem I was having, like, I feel so good. I feel so accomplished, you know, after I got this, you know, I troubleshooted everything and finally got it done. You know, like, it makes me feel sort of like when I get the, you know, I weed the gardens, or I get a project done or something like that. You know, me and my dad wind up building something, you know, I just feel so good afterwards. And it was sort of the same thing here. Here's the thing that, like, I literally could not figure out, was spending hours reading all of these, like I said, other people's problems that were very similar, people's solutions to some of these problems that weren't exactly the same, but like trying to figure it out and everything like that. And then finally coming up with, you know, the result that I wanted. I was like, yes, finally I fixed everything. You know, and so like I said, I'm just like finally feel like I have some motivation a little bit, and hopefully it sort of, you know, comes, you know, from that a little bit, and getting that done. But like, I don't know why, I just like, I haven't, like, now that like everybody's back in school and like there's football too, so like Jack's home for like a couple hours before he has to go to bed. Like, he's hardly home, and then like, you know, he had to mow the lawn today, had to take a shower. It's like I hardly feel like I see almost anybody else, you know. The same thing with my dad too. Like, Jack stays up later than him, and so, but like my dad comes home from football practice the same time as Jack, and then goes and works out in the garage, and then he comes in and takes a shower, and then we'll eat dinner and like maybe watch something, and then like go to bed like an hour later. And so it's like he, you know, like I barely see anybody else. And like Matthew's back at school school, like Jack's, you know, I see my mom most of the day, and that's sort of it. And like, I don't know too, it's just like I have nobody else there to sort of like sometimes help motivate me, like, yeah, let's go and do this, or like, let's get this done, you know, like me and my dad go and do a project or something like that. You know, a lot of times, like, and I'm not even saying, maybe it's just sometimes my dad more motivates me, and I think I motivate him. Like, we keep each other motivated really well. Like, Jack, if I'm like, Jack, let's, you know, go do this, or let's go for a walk, like, let's go do something, you know, whatever, he'll be like, I don't feel like doing that, you know. And so, like, he doesn't always keep me motivated, but, you know, like I said, on over the weekends, like, me and my dad will get to a project or something like that, and like that, I think, helps motivate me, and sometimes keeps me motivated throughout the week just to do like normal things. But then sometimes too, I'm just like I just don't feel like doing some of this stuff. And so yeah, but I don't know, it's just, like I said, sort of, I feel like I sort of get into this funk almost every year, sort of at that beginning of like school year, like almost the start of fall sort of time. It's like I have to find my routine again, and I think it's even worse. Like, I don't know if I would say it's worse, but it's just been sort of weird too, because like Jack was, you know, in e-learning for, you know, pretty much all of last year, and the, you know, semester before that at the end of last year, you know, spring. And so like all this kind of stuff, and like Matthew too was home for, you know, like he went to school last year but was home, you know, for the whole semester during, you know, the prior year. So like I said, it's just been sort of weird too to be like, oh wow, like everybody's back at school. Like, you know, like football wasn't at this time last year, it was in the spring last year, so like that kind of stuff too. Like, it's just like weird, I feel like, getting back into the routine of something that hasn't even been used to for like the last year, really, also. And so yeah, I feel like I'm trying to find, like I said, my groove. And then too, because everybody's so busy, not everybody's here, you know, all that kind of stuff, things like sort of get neglected, like, or don't get finished, or don't get done, or whatever. Like, Jack comes home on Friday and he's sore from his football game, he doesn't want to mow the lawn, so he has to like figure out a time during the week, or, you know, on a Sunday, or maybe he can't finish it, whatever. Like, so sometimes stuff just like either isn't in the normal routine when it is, or, you know, and so like then I can't do certain things outside because the grass is tall and I don't feel like walking through it, you know, like that kind of stuff. So it's just been a little bit, like I said, frustrating, and getting back into that routine.